As antibiotic resistance grows, it's time to find other ways for us to stay protected from infections. As health specialist Leah Sarich explains, thanks to a brand new initiative, researchers at the U of C are now looking for ideas in many areas, including the oil sands.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's so cool. So this is an example, really, of the cutting-edge research that they're doing at the University of Calgary. I spoke with Paul Cubes. He's a world-renowned researcher, and he's just been appointed to this new position where he's supposed to talk to all these different faculties and say, hey, let's come up with some ideas. Doesn't matter where they're coming from, let's try to find some solutions. So this is really exciting. So basically, they're looking to find solutions to infection and chronic disease. And Cubes says we're at a critical point in medicine because we are running out of ways to fight infection. He says, if, for example, the superbug MRSA, we've heard about that. It's gotten lots of press. There are only 1 or 2 families of antibiotics left that will kill this bug. That is it. Cube says in the early 1900s, of course, everybody died from infection because we didn't have antibiotics. He says we are moving in that direction once again. Uh-oh. Yeah, so this is very scary. And he also says the pharmaceutical companies are not investing in antibiotics anymore because the bacteria is becoming resistant so quickly, they're just not investing the dollars anymore. So it's up to us, the researchers, to come up with some ideas. And these new ideas are coming from all kinds of places, in fact, some crazy places as well.
We're interacting with people over in engineering who are working in the oil sands. They tell me there's an untapped resource there for new molecules that might actually have potent antimicrobial activities. So you can imagine if we could harvest those molecules and test them in infections and find something new, it opens up a whole new door. So we're very excited about these types of cross-cutting interactions that we've never actually explored before.
Isn't that exciting?
Molecules from the oil sands, test them against infections?
Yes, isn't that amazing?
Cool.
It's totally amazing. So one area where antibiotic resistance is really becoming a major problem is the area of sepsis. So let's look at the intensive care unit. So this is the place in the hospital where the sickest patients go.
Sure.
So in the ICUs, 25 to 35% of those patients have sepsis. So what is sepsis? Sepsis, it used to be called blood poisoning. So it's basically you get a little infection, and normally your immune system would kick in and fight it and it'd go away. But in some cases, the bacteria will actually evade your immune system, and then it goes into your bloodstream, and then your whole body is infected. So you become very sick very quickly. So that's these patients. They have high fever, they're delirious, they can lose consciousness. It's very, very serious. If you have severe sepsis, your chance of survival is only 70%. So we have 30% of people who are dying from this kind of infection. So that's 3 in 10 patients in the ICU. Yeah. They're dying from this kind of infection. And right now, we don't have great ways to treat this.
The treatments are reactive, so your kidneys start failing, so they dialyze your kidneys. You know, your brain is not functioning properly, so they try and keep you sedated. But aside from antibiotics and lots of fluids, there isn't much more that can be done right now. We don't have really good ways of inhibiting sepsis. So it's really quite a huge problem, and the critical care units are absolutely full of people with sepsis.
So they're filled with these people who have sepsis, and we don't really have great ways to treat it. But Cubes, this is his area of specialty. So this is something he's going to be looking for answers for from all of these different people. How can we fight this kind of infection? Because it is so pervasive, and we really don't have any good ways to treat it. As he said, they're all reactive. That's not treating the problem, they're just treating the symptoms of that initial problem. So this is the good news, though, is that they've got 250 investigators that are working on this project right now. So for sure, they're going to come up with some really exciting ideas. One area that they're really looking into is something I'm going to talk about tomorrow. It has to do with gut bacteria.
Okay, bacteria in your stomach?
In your colon.
Oh, in your colon.
In your colon.
Okay, yeah.
So it has to do with the bacteria in there, and they're basically saying if we can understand the bacteria in the gut, we are going to do some really exciting things when it comes to medicine. And not just medicine, but it'll have bigger impacts. So even things like the environment can be affected if we understand how this bacteria works.
Inside colon.
Exactly, inside our colon. Yeah, so that's tomorrow.
All right, looking forward to that. Good stuff. Thanks, Leah.
You're very welcome.
It's 8:21.